I'm always amazed at how far people can take just a single product on Shopify. And in today's video, we're going to be covering Box Ballin', which is a brand that's doing $5 million per month. And they're selling just one product, which is pretty unbelievable. And there's a lot of things that we can learn here. We're going to dissect their entire Shopify store. We're going to talk about the product, the market, and some ideas on how you could implement what they're doing into your business. So before we continue, first and foremost, my name is Ari. If you've never watched my videos, then welcome. We dissect brands like this all the time. I run a marketing agency and a portfolio of e-com stores too. So I love doing this. It always gives me ideas and it always brings more potential opportunities to me from you guys if you guys want help scaling your brands. So I'm trying to just give as many ideas and value as possible so that you guys can just build your businesses and get rich with me pretty much. So first and foremost, we're not going to waste any time. Their landing page here is pretty simple. This is their home page and they have all these different bundles, which is pretty cool. So they got a lot of different bundles and this is the first lesson that you can learn from this brand. If you're selling just a single product, a good idea is to just bundle that product and create bigger products from that one product, right? So why is this powerful? Well, because then you're getting a higher average order value. So as you see, if somebody buys a family pack, which is a pack of 5, right? It's $23.99 per box instead of $30 a box. And overall though, that's $119, which is pretty insane, right? I mean, that's a brilliant way to increase your average order value. And why do you want to increase your average order value? Well, because you're going to increase your customer lifetime value, right away from your first purchase. So this helps you be more profitable in your advertising, because a lot of times somebody would have to buy the product 5 times in order to give you the same customer lifetime value. Whereas here they could just give that to you all at once, right? So it's a little bit of a hack that a lot of people don't really think about. Now, one really interesting thing about this brand is their landing pages are kind of weird. I mean, they're very, very simple. I actually love the approach of just having super simple headlines. I could see this, like, no offense to this brand, but this to me almost looks like a drop shipping store. However, what they are doing extremely well is the content piece of it. They have a really, really, really good content engine, and that's probably where they spend most of their money actually, is in developing their content. Now, the other lesson here that I want to give you is this idea of mixing physical products with software, or in this case, apps. I think this is the most genius thing that this brand has done, because believe it or not, I've actually seen this product for years. I've seen this product for like 5 years, and it was a drop shipping product. I saw so many people drop shipping this exact product, but these guys took it, branded it really well, and turned it into a bigger idea. They continuously are innovating in a really cool way. So I actually love the idea of gamifying this with leaderboards. I think that's just genius, because now it becomes like a sort of video game, a sort of multi-person experience, multiplayer experience. I was trying to think of the word, is multiplayer. And I think that's just a brilliant thing to do. And then now, you can compete for cash money. That's so genius as well, right? Because now you're incentivizing people to use the product. And I'm not sure if they charge for the app or not. Let me see. I'm actually very curious now just to see. It's free. Okay, so it is a free product, which is pretty cool. I don't know if they charge at all for it. It seems like it's just free. I'm sure that they'll think of ways to monetize this app in the future, whether it's through advertising or through just getting people to buy more of this product, because that's the one thing that kind of sucks, is that with this product, like, you don't really need to buy it again, right? Once you buy it once, you don't really need to buy it again unless you want to buy it as a gift. Another interesting thing is that they're actually not running any ads. So at least not any ads through their main page. Do I think this is a mistake? Probably not, because I mean, they're doing really well. They know what they're doing. However, I do think it is a good idea to run ads, even if it's just a very small percentage of your overall budget, just to be in people's minds, especially when it comes to Meta, right? Here's the thing about Meta that makes it so powerful, is that there's no like skippable ads, right? I mean, you can skip ads because you can just keep scrolling. But what I mean is, for example, on YouTube, people are buying subscriptions to YouTube Premium in order to not see any ads. But on Instagram and Facebook, ads are just like a part of the experience, and people just assume that that's always the case. And same with TikTok. So even if you have just a small bit of budget, when managed very well, it can go super far on Meta. And that's why I love having a marketing agency that does Meta and Google, because I've just seen this effect. So, Box Ballin, I'd love to set up your Meta ads in a way that is cost efficient, but gets you a big bang for your buck. And you guys should do that too. So, I'll make a video on it if you want me to, on like how you could do it. But really, it's just as simple as setting up a few campaigns and just making high intent ads, which they can easily do because they have so much content, right? I mean, you see all these people are playing this thing and they're going kind of semi-viral on TikTok. Now, their traffic to their site is actually not good. So pretty much the way that they're selling this is through stores and maybe Amazon as well. I'm not sure. So I did look up the revenue. It was 60 million in 2024. That's how I came up with the 5 million a month plan or estimate rather, but they're projecting over 100 million, which is pretty interesting. That's a lot. So let me look up Box Ballin. Let's see. Okay, so this is another thing. A lot of people, we run Google Ads too for brands, and a lot of people don't understand why you would spend even just a tiny fraction of your budget on brand search ads. This is why, because there's people that will bid on your keywords. Like these guys, believe it or not, they're probably making so much money from just targeting the keyword of Box Ballin. So Box Ballin should absolutely be targeting their own keywords as well, because then they're gonna, they're gonna have this buy box, right? So that's what you want. So there are other apps on Amazon, which is actually hilarious. You see these guys are like half the price, but these guys do sell on Amazon, and they have 300 sold on Amazon every month. That's not really that significant. So I'm actually not exactly sure where their revenue is coming from, to be completely honest with you. My best guess is just stores like Target, Walmart, these kinds of things. There's a huge thing about retail that I just have not that much experience with, because I'm a huge Shopify advocate, Amazon, TikTok. I'm just all in on direct to consumer. But really one of the coolest things about this store that just really intrigued me about it is how they innovated on the app side of things. I love that. I love mixing tech with e-commerce. That's actually what I'm doing too now with my software. This is how I found this store is actually through the Shopee Lab accelerator software. So you can sign up for this. It's absolutely free to join the dashboard. You can actually get some calculators, stuff like that. But if you want to join our coaching community and get full access, you need to apply. But that's besides the point. I just really wanted to highlight this. I mean, they're running really interesting models. Again, it is surprising to me that they're not running any sort of ads at all on Meta, at least. It seems like they're just basically going all in on this influencer marketing engine, and they're going on TV. They're doing all this sorts of like traditional influencer partnerships, which is super expensive, but it's definitely worth it, it seems, because they're making all this revenue, although we don't know exactly where people are buying this because their store doesn't seem to be getting that level of traffic. This is definitely a seasonal kind of product as well, right? Because people will likely buy this mostly for the holiday season. And then they are releasing different sort of SKUs that are just different colors. So that's how they're innovating. They even did a Conor McGregor version. This is pretty smart. I like this idea because it just allows you to have a more diverse product category. And again, for people who really love this, then now they have another option to buy, which will increase your customer lifetime value, right? And that's what you want, because once you acquire a customer, it's much cheaper to just get them to buy again than to go out there and acquire more customers. But you should always do both, of course. And I think that's what's cool about having an app, is that you can then create a subscription out of something like this. I don't think that's what they're doing right now. They're just using it as like a value add and to get people to stick with the product for a long time, which is cool. But there's definitely a lot of ways that they could be monetizing this. And I'm sure that they're thinking about that internally in ways that wouldn't really disrupt the customer experience too much, or maybe even in a way that would add value to the customer experience. One way that I could think right now about is just incentivizing people to create content. So not only can they pay people for being on top of the leaderboards, but also for getting people to create content and pay them based on views. So Box Ballin, hit me up. We got to talk. That's a really good idea that you should implement. And again, anyone else watching this, feel free to implement that into your business as well. And if you need help to do that, obviously hit me up, DM me, and check out some of the resources in the description or in the link in my bio. But that's about it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you get some value out of it. Hopefully you're inspired in one way or another. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.